Now, what is sentence stress? It means stress on some words in a sentence. Sometimes we also use the word emphasis and syllables. So we stress or we emphasize some syllables in a sentence because it's not the full word. Within the word, it is a specific syllable that we stress. Now, and we stress content words. This is really important to remember. Content words are words that carry meaning and information. Now, and we stress those content words in comparison to grammatical words, which we usually don't stress. Those remain unstressed in English. This is a very simplified rule, and I'm going to go into more details in this video and also the videos following. So, what types of sentence stress do we have in English? First of all, we have tonic stress. Tonic, you might think gin and tonic, but no, this has nothing to do with gin and tonic. Tonic stress. Number 2, emphatic stress. Number 3, contrastive stress. And the last one, number 4, new information stress. Let's have a look at a few examples so you understand what these 4 types are all about. First of all, tonic stress. Here's an example sentence. I'm meeting my friend at school. Now, I told you earlier, content words are stressed, and those are meeting, friend, and school, because they carry the main information of the sentence. The other words, I'm, my, at, well, they're important to form the sentence, so it's grammatically correct. But if you only heard I'm, my, at, really, it doesn't tell you anything. But if you heard meeting, friend, school, you could kind of guess what I'm trying to tell you. Now, meeting, friend, and school would be stressed in that sentence, and that is what we call tonic stress. Now, meeting has 2 syllables. We would stress the first one, meeting. Friend, school, there's only 1 syllable, so those are the ones we stress. Now, there's another thing at play here. Usually, the last tonic stress receives the main stress in this utterance. And so for us, that word would be school. So I'm meeting my friend at school means school is slightly more stressed than meeting and friend. And I'm, mine, at are unstressed. Let's listen. I'm meeting my friend at school. I'm meeting my friend at school. Hopefully you were able to hear it. Let's have a look at number 2, emphatic stress. Now this really shows how extraordinary something is. Again, let's have a look at an example. Here we have the sentence, she was extremely happy. Now usually we would stress happy the most. This is the standard stress, the tonic stress. However, we could also stress extremely if we wanted to emphasize how extraordinary this was. So instead of she was extremely happy, we could say she was extremely happy. And extremely would have emphatic stress. And really, we emphasize how happy she was. Let's listen again. First, the standard stress. She was extremely happy. Now, emphatic stress. She was extremely happy. She was really, really happy. And this comes across through our emphatic stress. Number 3, contrastive stress. Now, here again is an example sentence. She cooked dinner for us. Usually, cooked, dinner, content words. This is the standard tonic stress. She cooked dinner for us. Dinner would probably have the main stress here as well. However, we could shift the stress and change the meaning of the standard meaning. She cooked dinner for us. The main meaning here would be that she cooked and that it was dinner. But if we shift the stress and we place it on she instead, this is what we call contrastive stress. We change the meaning of the sentence. She cooked dinner for us. She cooked dinner for us. What am I trying to tell my listener? I'm saying that was her who cooked dinner and not somebody else, maybe her husband or her mother. So she cooked dinner for us. This sentence has a slightly different meaning to the one before. And last but not least, new information stress. Here is a little dialogue to illustrate what new information stress is all about. Two people are meeting for the first time and they're having the following conversation. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm a student here. And the other person answers, nice to meet you too. What do you study? And the person replies, I study linguistics at the UPC. What happens here? The question, what do you study, is answered in the following sentence with, I study linguistics at the UPC. Linguistics is the new information. We knew already that the person was a student and that they were studying at university, but the new information is the subject they're studying, linguistics. So that word, linguistics, stressed on the third syllable, would receive the main stress because it is new information. Now, of course, all of those four could kind of also appear together, which makes sentence stress sometimes a little bit difficult to understand, and understand when you hear it, but also understand when you want to use it correctly. Now, let's summarize again. We had tonic stress, emphatic stress, contrastive stress, and new information stress. And there's something important to remember. For all of those, we always stress to focus on what is important. So sentence stress is always used in this way. We use it to focus our listener's attention on the important part of the sentence, that the part that we want to send a specific message. And this is really true for all of those. It doesn't matter if it's tonic, emphatic, contrastive, or new information stress. For all of those, we use our sentence stress to focus our listener's attention. So, if this sentence is true, then that also means it's true for all four types of sentence stress, and that we always focus our listener's attention through the stress, and that we do this even if we're unaware of it. Now, this is important for you who are learning English as a non-native. So even if you're not aware of it, you will probably stress some parts of your utterances more than others, and that will send a message to your listener, whether you want it or not. Now, you always send a message, and this is really important to remember. And so, what can happen if you place the sentence stress incorrectly? Now, that usually means that you either send an incorrect message or you confuse your listener. Probably both, unfortunately. So that means there are two important questions that we need to ask ourselves. Number one, what are the rules for sentence stress? But also, and I think just as importantly, the second question is, what is the message that I want to send? What is it really that you're trying to tell your listener? You can do so through the stress, and like I said, you will do so through the stress. So make sure you watch my other videos that are coming up over the next couple of weeks on each of those types of sentence stress.